Good morning, y'all. Obviously got a haircut for the first time in like half a year. But it's been a while since we've done one of these travel vlogs, and we have yet another toy show to go to. Last time we've taken a toy show trip was in Hayes, and turned out pretty good. We got some pretty cool things, pretty cool cars that we bought. So we're gonna be doing that again, except this is going to be in Hutchinson, Kansas, and that's about same time as Hayes. But first, we are going to sell this guitar right here because I bought it, and I also bought an electric guitar. So I don't really need the acoustic guitar. So we're gonna sell it. And I'll tell you the backstory behind that guitar. But we're gonna go to, I think it's gonna be like, I forgot where it is, but it's just shorter distance than Hayes. So we're gonna take a small trip there, and then we're gonna go straight to Hutch to the toy show. It is currently 8 o'clock right now, and I'm only running on like 5 hours of sleep because my goofy ass decided to stay up till like almost 2 a.m. So I'm a little tired, so I'm gonna get coffee, and we're gonna get gas, and we're gonna hit the road. So I'm excited for this very eventful day we're having, because I also have other plans later on in the day, and we're just gonna have to take as much time as we can, and try not to run out of time, because we have a whole day ahead of us and it's gonna be exciting. So let's hit it. No fucking gas, bro. No gas. Look at those Christmas lights, bro. Yes, sir. We did make over $100 in selling guitar. Now, let me break down the backstory, right? Backstory of the guitar I had. I actually bought that guitar for $40 because somebody was trying to get rid of it, and I'm not sure if I traveled for it. No, it was actually in town, I think. I don't remember. I just know I bought it for $40, and I noticed that it was basically $100 guitar almost in retail. So I listed it for 80 or 85, and this guy from a different town, which is probably the same distance as me, just the other way, or on just the opposite side, and he offered 120 for it just to travel and meet him at some point. And I was like, you know what, why not? I mean, I needed gas money, and not only that, I've already made profit from selling this guitar already. So just to show you that there are other ways to make money, and some people just don't know about it. But just to remind the people that are watching this, are like, dude, why are you just randomly buying stuff? Stop wasting your money. Little did you know, half of the time I buy stuff, I'm actually making a profit selling it. So I've done this for years. Sometimes I buy something and I only end up selling it for the same exact price that I bought it for. But occasionally, there's times where I sell it actually twice as more than I actually bought it from. So we actually make money still. So, yeah, I'm just doing that on the side, just make a little bit of extra money. So we got about 120 now from that guitar instead of 40 that I bought it for. So we actually made 3 times more. So I would say that is a successful flip. Like I said, it's occasional, but yeah, it is currently 9:20, and we are going to Hutch now. So we got about another hour drive from here. So let's head to this toy show, shall we? Alright, so I decided to do a voiceover for this portion of the video because I didn't really have much to say. I just wanted to kind of just take in the experience, and just narrate as I go. So it's been a while since I've been to a toy show. Obviously, last time I went was probably in Hayes, and we got pretty interesting cars last time. So going to this one, I was kind of excited to see what else is in store. Obviously everything's gonna be a little different. So when I first went there, I was surprised on how big the building was and like what was all in there, because it felt bigger to me, honestly. And it's pretty interesting to see that there was also like custom cars as well in the building. But looking at the stuff they had there, I mean, it was almost the same as last time. So there's obviously just a little bit different things people had on display. Obviously there's like plenty of Hot Wheels and all this like tiny little diecast stuff, but they also had stuff like plushies and miscellaneous stuff. And I think the most surprising thing out of this entire showcase is a handful of 3D printed things, which we'll show later in the video. But obviously I had to record the things I found most interesting, like Transformers, and the fact that there's still like more to be shown. But I honestly, every time I look at the Transformers, I think of my dad and all of his Transformers he collected. So maybe one of these days, I'll have to see if he's ever gonna to attend one of these and maybe sell some of his stuff, because I know he wanted to be in a toy show at one point. I just don't remember the last time he said that. Going on, there's, like I said, a lot of 3D printed stuff. There was some interesting stuff that I saw. I grabbed one of these, and I'll explain later in this video that that's kind of what I bought from that toy show. But after that, I decided to go to an antique store in Hutch, and there was a handful of interesting things that were in there, like the Dodge Concept diecast car, which I've never seen before, and other stuff that I just never thought I'd see, like a limousine diecast that the president of the US would actually be riding in. There's other interesting diecasts I've never seen before, like a TVR Speed 12. I've never seen anything like that before, and obviously it's Hot Wheels brand, and like I said, they never make anything like these anymore. So it's interesting to see what these antique stores be having, aside from diecast and stuff. Later on, I went to Wichita and decided to go to an antique store, and it's no different. It's massive. You get lost in there. There's just things packed on the shelves. The one thing I found interesting was this diecast Ferrari F50, and I actually have one of these, but it's the convertible version, and I just happened to find the hardtop one, and you had to dig into the shelves to even find that. But yeah, there's also some things I actually never seen before, like literally like planes made out of like shells of guns and stuff. Then later on I went to Target and like a diecast shop, and I actually bought something from there, and I'll show you guys later in the video. And there's also a surprise at the end that I also bought that I never thought I'd see. But after all that shopping and stuff, it was like 3 o'clock. I haven't ate at all the entire day so far, so I decided to go out to eat. And I got this nice ass pizza, and it's pretty small if you look at it, but surprisingly it actually filled me up, and I just had no idea that would happen. But after I got done eating, I had to be at a birthday party later on, so I decided to head back home and just, yeah. Alright, since we finally got that big trip done, this is what I came up with out of this entire trip. And they're all different scales, actually. I just realized the bottom one's very big compared to the top one. I guess it's organized by scale, huh? So let me run by you what each of these are and why they're kind of significant to my choosing. Alright, starting off with the Porsche 918. This is actually called the Weissach package. It's actually a lighter and track focused Porsche 918, so I find this probably unique to me, so that's why I decided to get this one. It's very simple and unique. The next one is the Pink Slip 118 scale RX-7. Now this is actually retailed for on average $70. So getting this at $45 to $50 was actually a steal, because not only they don't even sell these in my hometown and they only sell at Target, it's already hard enough to even find, and I've been doing research on something like this and I've always wanted this car in particular, so that's why I decided to grab this one. And last but not least, the Muscle, what is it? The Muscle Machines Acura NSX. This one was probably the most surprising one I've ever found. And this has actually retailed between $50 and $100. And I actually got this for less than that. And I love the style, I love the detail. That's why this is very unique to me, and they don't make like anything like this anymore. Alright, with all of those being displayed and the stories behind them, I gotta say, some of these were actually very hard to find, and that's also a reason why I chose to grab these. Let's do a total of how much we actually spent on this entire trip, because this is actually a complicated but surprising result, because I took the guitar and actually sold it for $120. Now, if you guys remember earlier in the video, I bought that thing for only $40, so I got 3 times more than I actually bought it for. So with the $120, I'm gonna do a total of how much I actually spent this entire trip, and with all the die casts, the Porsche 918 was about 30, no, it was 25. So it was 25 for the Porsche 918, the small one, and then the RX-7 was actually the most expensive one, coming at about $50. Now, that is probably one of the higher prices I have paid for a diecast, but then again, it is also very rare to find, and with the retail being way more than what I bought it for, because it's so hard to find. But that was also $50. And last but not least, the NSX was, surprisingly, for as big as it is and how old it is, I only got it for $40. And like I said, it's also very rare to find, and they just don't make anything like that anymore. That's why I bought it. And surprisingly, there was actually a second one of those in yellow, but you know, I like red, and red's my favorite color, so I had to get the red one. So with the total of just the die cast, I actually spent about $115, which leaves us about $5 from the guitar we got. But obviously I have not ate that entire day until on my way back home. I actually went out to eat and spent about $25 on food. So in reality, out of this entire trip, I actually only spent $20 out of my pocket. Now, which is actually surprising for an entire trip like that and the amount of money I've spent already. But I guess you could say I traded in the guitar for die-cast cars, which is probably not a smart idea. But at the same time, I also have one of the rare collectible cars that I actually obtained, and I'm honestly glad that I got to own one of these, because like I said, they don't make anything like this anymore, and especially with the Pink Slips RX-7 and the Porsche 918, I'm not sure if they're going to be making any more of those, and those are also going to be probably rare to find in the near future. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you guys want to see some more travel vlogs or any more gaming or any more content, just hit that subscribe button and always come back. And I will hopefully see you guys in the next video. Yeet.